I wanted to mention I'm seeing a lot of folks that aren't understanding the intersectionality of this poor child that had passed. So, trigger warning, I'm going to be talking about the murder, transphobia, and colonial racism. So, a lot of the folks who want to be good allies to the 2S LGBTQ community, one, almost always erase Indigenous people. So, that's, a form of settler colonial racism. Two, people actually don't even understand what racism is. I had a member of the community recently say to me that, well, it was not my fault. And it's like, well, the white supremacist foundation you get to thrive in. And I think there's that. And another point that was said to me was that, oh, black women can be transphobic and get away with it. And it's like, no, you don't understand. You don't have not done the racism as Black History Month. You need to understand that every moment of every single day, a QT BIPOC or a BIPOC person in white supremacist North America has to deal with inequality. It doesn't matter if you're going to a gas station. It doesn't matter if you're going to a school. It doesn't matter where you are at work. You are getting less pay. You are not treated with the same respect solely based off of the fact that you are not white. So I just block people who don't understand this, who get offended by white fragility. This page is not for you. You are not ready to deal with your racism. You are not ready to deal with settler colonialism, and this page is not for you. But for me, I need to be very clear. The content creators who have the audacity to talk about Next that was murdered in Oklahoma by 3 teenage girls, it's not just transphobia. You are missing the settler colonial racism that this child had to endure because this child was a nation member of the Choctaw Nation as well as a foster child. So this colonial trauma, colonial violence, colonial intervention, this is all a part of it. And you're not seeing that in the media. You're not seeing it on the social media because at the end of the day, you're not letting Indigenous speak about this issue, which is why this problem of racism, settler colonial racism in the 2S LGBT community is something that is a part of the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit inquiry. I've given you the back stuff. I've already posted it. I know I have to put the pieces together quicker for folks because they're not invested in reading the Truth and Reconciliation Commission report. They're not invested in reading the National Inquiry Report. And ironically, I've said it on my podcast, which you are ignoring, I can tell by your DMs, that if you had read them, you would know there are specific calls to action, calls to justice for social media people, for media, and as well as for the 2S LGBTQ community. So read them. I'm not saying this for funsies. I don't want my child who identifies as with they and them for the very specific reason we had to invent he and she for you stupid colonial settlers, but you won't even listen to us enough to know. So please read them. They're free. They're online. I've already given links a million times. You can Google it. If you ask for it, instant block. I I can't give you this information any quicker, any easier, and I've done it repeatedly through the podcast. I know when you're not listening. So, with the deepest respect, all the best to you. But maybe if you're not talking about settler colonial racism, maybe, just maybe, you should refer to other people who will.